Gentle Criminal made a climactic return in My Hero Academia to assist the heroes in their mission to defeat All for One, once and for all. You see what I did there? Gentle's quirk, elasticity, is useful, but not all that powerful on its own. However, with the help of La Brava and her love quirk, Gentle Criminal's quirk and physical strength multiply. The boost that Gentle Criminal receives from a lover mode had previously been enough to put Deku on his back foot. And it seems like that power has increased even further during the final battle of the series. Gentle is responsible for keeping the coffin in the sky airborne with elasticity, meaning that his quirk is powerful enough to keep thousands of tons from plummeting into the earth. All Might may have lost the spark for One for All, but his wit and tenacity have remained. All Might has picked up a lot of tricks in his time as a pro hero, and even more as an instructor at UA. With the funds he has gathered over the course of his long and successful career, All Might has built a powerful exosuit that he plans to use to keep All for One distracted for as long as possible. Though the exosuit is still far from the strength he once had in his prime, the suit itself has already been shown to be more than capable of protecting All Might from some of One for All's attacks. If All Might had been facing off against any other normal villain, the suit would surely have been enough to take them in. Tokoyami's power has been a regular presence throughout the series from the beginning. Dark Shadow is an incredibly versatile quirk. Even at its weakest in the sunlight, it is strong enough to grant Tokoyami the power of flight. However, when Tokoyami is enveloped in darkness, Dark Shadow becomes one of the most powerful entities in the entire series. When Tokoyami relinquishes control over his quirk in the darkness, few have been able to stand against it. Dark Shadow was strong enough to stop All for One for a short time, and was useful enough that All for One wanted the quirk for himself. Under the right circumstances, Tokoyami possesses more raw strength than most of the pro heroes. Shoto Todoroki's half-cold, half-hot quirk allows him to tackle nearly any situation. Most quirks in the series have drawbacks that prevent their users from overexerting themselves. Todoroki's quirk is a combination of his father's flame quirk and his mother's ice quirk. Having both extreme ends of the temperature spectrum allows him to self-regulate his temperature and produce at full strength for longer periods of time. Todoroki has proven himself on multiple occasions, being one of the few students let into UA through recommendations. He was already more powerful than most pro heroes at the start of his first year. Todoroki has immense control over both sides of his quirk at the start of the final season. And at full strength, there aren't many individuals who can hold a candle to his power. As a member of the Big Three, and the person that Sir Night-Eye had chosen to be the successor for One for All, Mirio Togata has the most control over his own quirk than any other student or pro hero in the series. Permeation allows Togata to pass harmlessly through any object, including the ground. By itself, permeation doesn't have inherent destructive power like many other quirks, but through intense training, Togata has turned into a devastating weapon. Togata was on the team responsible for keeping Shigaraki at bay and played a major role in holding him off until Deku returned. Unfortunately, due to permeation's lack of power, he wasn't able to harm Shigaraki, but on the flip side, he also remained unharmed. There are very few options to actually defeat Togata. Bakugo's overwhelming natural talent, paired with a quirk with an abundance of potential, like Explosion, has created somebody who is nearly unmatched in strength, combat prowess, power, and pride. Bakugo has always been one of the series' strongest combatants, and now that he has been able to swallow some of his pride and learn from his peers, his power has skyrocketed. Right before he was dealt a devastating blow that destroyed his heart, Bakugo evolved, and he began moving and thinking faster than he ever had before. If Edgeshot can revitalize Bakugo by restoring his heart, Bakugo will play a key role in defeating All for One. Gigantomakia is the textbook definition of an unstoppable force. All for One equipped Makia with many powerful quirks, monstrous strength, near limitless endurance, titanic size, regeneration, and extreme durability, to name a few. Makia is also fiercely loyal to his master, abiding by any order given to him. Outside of All for One and All Might in his prime, there's almost nobody who could stand up to him one-on-one. Thankfully for the heroes of the story, Gigantomakia seems to be on questionable terms with All for One. Leading into the final battle, Shinto's brainwashing quirk was slightly effective at taming the massive beast, but it didn't hold him for long. If it weren't for All for One temporarily incapacitating him, Gigantomakia would yet be another overwhelming obstacle for the heroes to face. The self-proclaimed Demon King of My Hero Academia, All For One, has been plaguing the story for generations. With the ability to steal and distribute quirks to other people, he had built an empire upon which he ruled his followers like a king. It wasn't until All Might himself stepped in to finally put an end to the world he had created, but even that wasn't enough to stop him for good. Now, after grooming Shigaraki to be the perfect successor, he plans on building that empire of fear once again. Through his decades of manipulation, All For One has gathered hundreds of devastating and useful quirks. Even as his body rapidly ages down, he possesses almost unrivaled strength. Up until the moment he fades into nothingness, All For One will be a force to be reckoned with, and a threat to the peace All Might fought so hard to achieve. Deku is the first wielder of One For All who can fully access all the quirks it has stored from past users over the years. Each quirk was originally unremarkable on its own. However, One For All has stockpiled power over the course of multiple past generations, and has transformed each quirk into something far more powerful. With Deku's knack for quirk analysis, he has very quickly mastered each new weapon in his arsenal, much like All For One and Shigaraki. His multiple quirks leave very little room for glaring weaknesses. An underrated aspect of his quirks is that he has multiple consciousnesses in his mind, each of which can give guidance to Deku at a moment's notice and protect him from attacks that target his quirks specifically. Shigaraki is much like Deku in the sense that he has multiple quirks and a vestige of his own in All For One within his mind. What separates Shigaraki from Deku in power is that Shigaraki has even more quirks, and regeneration is one of them. Shigaraki's body can recover from major damage, which allows him to take more physical punishment and keep fighting. Shigaraki's decay quirk can almost instantly vaporize entire city blocks, and that's before any of his other quirks are taken into account. He possesses strength and durability that rival Deku's, and has even more adaptability with his new genetically modified body. Perhaps his greatest strength is that he has All For One's original quirks, so he can steal and redistribute quirks as he sees fit, as long as he can touch someone.